Good afternoon, potato chips. How you doing? It's been a couple of days. Sorry, life has been absolutely hectic this last couple of days. That hospital appointments for daughters, for the wife getting her injection, that took about 3 hours for COVID. So it's been one of those couple of days where I've just been running about. So I'm trying to catch up today on just some videos. Now thinking, what could I do to start to get just a wee chill out video? I haven't done a lot of research, and I got this knife up here, which I'll come to last. I got this a couple of weeks ago, and I wanted to talk about it after having it for a couple of weeks and what I think about it. Now, what that brought me to is knives, tools, whatever that I've got multi-uses. And it's not something I think of a lot, a multi-use knife, but there is knives that I have that are specifically designed for jobs. And should it be everyday little tasks, you've got a little Leatherman squirt or a big multi-tool, but they're all knives that have more than one option of use. I mean, this I carry with me every single day in my pocket. I never leave home without this. It is just constantly with me, and mostly because of these little pliers. I just love the little pliers on this. But it's got lots of other little tools on the back of it. And I'm not going to go through all these. You've seen these. I've individual videos on these out there. Maybe not all of them, but most of them. And this little Leatherman squirt has lots of little tools, but it also includes, a little knife. It's only about 1.5 inches, but it's a knife and it cuts. It's sharp. I keep it sharp. I have very rarely used it. It's got a pair of scissors. Again, handy little tool. So it's got lots of little tools that I use on a daily basis. And this would be my most used tool stroke knife. And I highly recommend these. If you haven't had one, this clips in my pocket with my little small flashlight, and it stays in my jean pocket or whatever clothes I've got. It'll stay until I'm washing them. I take it out, swap it on to the next pair. And that's it. Sorry for hitting there. Another one I just got recently was from Rough Rider, and this is a camp knife. And a lot of these tools that I'm sort of going to talk about now, they're tools that I'm buying for down around the caravan. So this is going to be the kids and teaching them how to open cans with knives like this. There's bottle openers. You've got your main blade on it. It's a complete slip joint. It has an awl on it. Bottle openers. It's got a lot. It's just a typical little camp knife from Rough Rider. Very inexpensive, but a marvellous tool. They really have gone to town. Look at that back spring on a knife, that's, buttons really. It's just a budget knife. And you can tie it on with a lanyard or whatever. Beautiful little knife. And one that I'm really glad that's in the collection, because it will get used. And it's great it's a great way of getting younger children into knives, is showing them knives that have got multi-uses, because it's a bit more fascinating than just one blade. Here's another one. This is the copy of the TL29, the electrician's knife, which is just a great knife to have in your toolbox. It has got a nice blade. They're not the best steel in the world. It's a slip joint blade, but it's also got the screwdriver come pry bar. This takes an edge here on this side. There's a good edge on this for stripping wire. It really is just a handy little knife. I wish they would come out with a modern one with a Phillips head and still have a flathead screw. There's not that many flathead screws anymore, and I think that would be a really useful tool with a Phillips screwdriver on the end of it. Nobody seems to have done that, and I think that would just be a huge improvement. But this is a great knife. There's just plastic covers, got a lanyard, again, really well put together, very inexpensive. Not inexpensive, and you can buy the TL29s on Etsy, YouTube in America, or other places around the world for buttons. The older knives, I have one in there. It's not as good a condition as this, but it does exactly the same job. Great little knife in my collection. And I'm just wondering who else out there has got a varied collection of multi-blade knives, and what have you got? What do you mostly use them for? Here's another one that I bought this year, or just last year, I think. It's got this beautiful marlin spike on it, which locks. This is the lock here, and to release it, you just pull this back and it comes down. But you can see the use in this. I have used this to poke all sorts of things. I've used it to poke a hole in leather. I have used it just to clean out somewhere that I need to get something in to scrape it out. So, I mean, a really useful knife. It's got the locking thing, but it's also got a really good and robust, I would call that a rope knife. I mean, it's a sailor's knife, so it's a rope cutting knife where you can actually give it a good blatter if you need to with something on the back. It's just a lovely knife. This is an old-timer charade. Absolutely dirt cheap, but a great tool. And all these could reside in a toolbox and be used for other jobs than maybe their intended use. This doesn't have to be used on a boat. It can be used during any day work life, and it gives you an option of so many different blades and tools that are there, and it's for a fraction of the cost and easy to use, easy to store away. A multi-tool falls into that because it is a knife. You know, it's a knife channel, so this is an absolutely robust big knife that you could use quite happily. Very comfortable in hand, really good knife. You can get your hand down there and use away at it. Not the best blade steel in the world, but it doesn't matter. It cuts, keep it sharp. It locks. So, I mean, it's a perfect tool to keep in your tool bag. So these are maybe not knives that you would carry on you on a daily basis unless you were specifically going camping or on a boat. But they're knives that if they're in your toolbox, if they're in your toolbox, that's it. If they're in your toolbox, they can be used for a variety of jobs, and it gives you such great options because we don't all need big hammers and big spanners. These are just good tools for certain jobs, and sometimes they do jobs better than an original tool was made for. I just love them. I really do genuinely love them. But, and the whole point of this video, I'm going to swap these over now. I'm going to push these all up here. Multi-bladed knives is one thing, and it's nice to have them. And this is a multi-tool fixed blade, and I've never had one of them. This is from Hultafors, and I had seen this on Pete, Cedric and Ada, his channel, and he had got one, and he just moved house, and he had bought one of these to do some jobs about the house. And when I seen it, I knew for a fact that before the video was over, I had to go and order one, because it just an amazing looking knife. And I'll leave a link to his channel where he does a test on it, so I'm not going to. He shows what he used it for, and he battered this thing. And I mean, he was even hammering it through the top of a metal oil drum. He just abused the knife, and it took it. And I had to get one. But I wanted this for my toolbox. I've got a bit of woodwork coming up to do. I have to make flower boxes and things for down around the caravan. And I wanted to have, I have chisels, I have old chisels and whatever. And that's the giveaway. Wait till you see this. It comes in it's like a Mora. It's really the same build. They're buttons. They're buttons. You can get them on Amazon. You can get them from your local shops. You get them anywhere. It's Hultafors, and it's the chisel knife. Look at this knife. This handle is so comfortable. I don't care what size your hand is. You have plenty of room on there. That is a big handle. Robust, comfortable handle. But look at this. It's not Scandi because it has a secondary grind down here. This is razor sharp. It has a chisel, razor sharp. But it's also a pointed chisel. And this is not, sometimes you'll get a chisel and it will be a chisel grind on them, but this isn't. And it really does make it incredibly useful for any sort of job. And especially a bit of woodwork where you're making boxes and you want to trim off a wee bit here, or you're doing a wee bit of cabinetry. What an amazing knife. And it's the same sort of steel as on a Moira, but this is very robust steel. I love my Moiras, and I've always said that I think they're brilliant knives. And this, for the same sort of price, if not cheaper than most Moiras, is just a cracking knife for a woodworker, for a carver, for, you know, anybody that whittles, you know, that'll take the chunks off it before you get down to the fine whittling. It'll, you know, really trim down your bit of wood. I just think it's glorious. Absolutely lovely. And because of those grinds on it, really easy to sharpen. Really, really easy to sharpen. And it's not difficult steel to sharpen. So, what do you think of that? That's my first ever multifunctional fixed blade. and I am over the moon with it. I think it's cracking. I can't wait to get down and give it some proper use down the caravan. I've played about with it here. I mean, I'm just looking at this, and the grind is really good on it. It is genuinely just razor sharp. I'm trying to see if I've got anything here. I haven't got anything here to cut today, but it is literally, trust me, it's like a razor, like a Mora. It's just like a Mora. And this one is a full, the chisel grind is a, there we go. There's no secondary bevel. That's just easy to put down and sharpen on a stone. But I would go and watch Pete's video. Highly recommend his video to see what this knife went through, what he put it through. But, I mean, it's just common sense to me. What a great knife to have in your toolbox, whatever you want to use it for. It just sits in that sheath. I mean, again, it's not the, it has got a drain hole at the bottom, but you have a little part at the front here to push it out. It's not the best sheath in the world, but it's absolutely fine. So what do you think of multi-bladed knives? Do you have many? What do you use them often? Or is it something that just lies in a box somewhere and don't get used? I would say all of these are going down the caravan with me, and they'll go in my toolbox at the caravan. This is on me at all times, but this is going to join them. And you tell me what job I couldn't do with this collection now. It's phenomenal. It really is everything. I've wood saws in there, you know, I've knives, I've files, I've, you know, all sorts of pliers. There's everything there. That is a little toolbox in itself. And look at the small space that it takes up. So there you go. And screwdrivers with this one as well. So, there you go. A wee quick video. It came from nowhere and I just wanted to get back into the way again. But this Hultafors, I think I got this on Amazon. In fact, I'm sure I did. But I know you can buy them anywhere. You just type in the name in your favourite shopping channel or wherever you buy your knives, and these will come up dirt cheap. Take care, folks. Paddy's Way. Hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you got. Bye now.